How Bruce Springsteen changed my life. Stuff from the vault, behind the scenes stories from the music business, and more. Okay, Facebook Live, this is Stuff from the Vault, episode 14, How Bruce Springsteen changed my life, boosted my career. I'm just kind of winging this one, so I hope I get my dates right. I was thinking about that as I hit go, that, gee, maybe I don't remember the dates of things, but I was really an Asbury Jukes fan, Southside Johnny and the Asbury Jukes, before I was really a Springsteen fan. And there's sort of a tie-in to that. I went to an Asbury Jukes concert at the Capitol Theater, and I happened to be sitting either right next to or right in front of, I forget, a guy named Billy Smith and Billy's wife. And I had a fake Asbury Jukes jacket. I had a girlfriend that could sew, and she decided to surprise me and make me this Asbury Jukes jacket. And if you remember the jackets from This Time It's For Real, which I'll show you in a minute anyway, she created one. So Billy knew Southside, and he was friends with the band, and he starts chatting with me, and he asked me about the jacket, and I said, it's fake, but, I'd love to get a real one. Well, Billy says, I know the band, let me talk to Southside, and I'll get you a jacket. And sure enough, Billy got me a real Asbury Jukes jacket, which I still have to this day. So yeah, if you remember This Time It's For Real, that's the jacket. So the reason I tie that in is because once I had that jacket, crazy things started to happen. I would wear the jacket and people thought I was in the band, and I would say, no, I'm not. And there would be people who say, yes, you are, you're lying, give me your autograph, which was really dumb because no, I'm not. But I signed the autograph because they were getting mad, And I was like, all right, you can have my autograph. You have no clue who I am, but you can have it. So I went to the Fast Lane, which I used to hang out at the Fast Lane. I love the Fast Lane in Asbury Park. And one night, John Cafferty and Beaver Brown were playing there. And I had my Jukes jacket on, and I had my trumpet in the car, and I started chatting with the band, with John Cafferty and the band. And they invited me to play in their second set. So they asked me, do you know Raise Your Hands? And I was thinking of a different song, and I said yes. And I actually didn't know Raise Your Hands, which to my shame I should have. But I said, what key is it in? They're like, it's in E. Okay, as a trumpet player, that puts me in F sharp. I know what to play. I'll just wing it. And as soon as they started playing the song, I was like, oh my goodness, I don't know this song. But I picked up the horn line pretty quick. It's just so it's easy. And I just played it and had some fun with it. But Billy Smith was there, the guy that gave me the Asbury Jukes jacket, and he took pictures. And if you can see that, that is Gary Talent from Springsteen's band, Mike Antunes from John Cafferty and Beaver Brown, and me playing trumpet with my Asbury Jukes jacket on. And so I play this gig, and I go back a couple months later. Beaver Brown is there again, and I go back down to Asbury Park, and I'm hanging out. And now this is actually, let me step back one step. This is after the No Nukes concert. Do you remember the Musicians United for Safe Energy, the No Nukes concert at Madison Square Garden? I got tickets to that concert. I went to that concert. I had the worst seats in Madison Square Garden. We were behind the stage, all the way up, like, I think there were 2 rows behind me. We watched the whole entire concert from the back. But Bruce Springsteen, when he played, he actually turned around, got the whole band to turn around and do a song for everybody in the cheap seats, sitting in the back. So that was really cool. So I'm back in Asbury Park. I'm at the Fast Lane. Billy Smith told me to come down because he was going to give me the pictures. He had shot a roll of film of me playing with Beaver Brown, a couple months earlier. And I walk in, and the place is packed. It was a holiday weekend, I think. I'm not sure. I forget exactly what day it was, but the place is packed, and everybody there knew me because I had played there and I hung out there enough. And there was a fight in the back of the bar. So I'm near the front, and the bouncer who was doing the door said, watch the door. And he ran off, and he leaves me to check the door. Okay, now, I don't work there, I don't know anything, but Bruce Springsteen walks in. So me, I'm all, stupid as I am, and I asked Bruce for ID because I'm an idiot, right? And he knew I was kidding, but he walked in, and people started to sort of get, mob around him, and when you walked into the fast lane, you could go straight in to be in the club, and there was like this raised area on the left, but there was also this hall that went to the left that went back to the offices, dressing rooms, where just if you were somebody coming to the club, you didn't get to go hang out there. But I kind of moved back into that area when the bouncer came back just to get out of the way, and all of a sudden Bruce is standing right next to me. So I've got all these pictures of me playing with Gary Talent and Beaver Brown, everybody, in my pocket. And I'm like, I don't know what to say to Bruce, but I was like, dude, I was at the No Nukes concert, and you're the only one that acknowledged us. I had the really bad seats. That was really cool that you turned around. And he seemed to appreciate that, so we started to talk. And then I felt bold enough to pull these pictures out of my pocket and say, man, I played here. And Bruce, bless his heart, man, this is the kind of person he is. Now, I'm nobody, okay? I'm 18 years old. I'm an 18-year-old kid. My biggest, claim to fame at that moment is that I got to sit in with somebody from his band, and I'd already played with the guys from the Asbury Jukes at the Stone Pony, but I'm not, I'm nowhere near his level of anything. And he sat there and he looked at every picture, like he went through them all, and he looked at them and he talked to me about it. And then he talked to me about the music business, and he started giving me advice and encouraging me to pursue it. And that changed me, because at that moment I was like, I can do this, and in my brain, I'm thinking that Bruce recognized some talent in me, which in hindsight is stupid because he looked at pictures and we talked, but it made me feel like I had the shot, So I really, really, from that moment on, worked at it and honed my craft and started playing, 3 or 4 hours a day. By 1981, I opened the studio, and if I didn't have sessions in the studio, you would find me on Friday nights, Saturday nights in the studio by myself playing. And I would just put on WPLJ, or I would put on a couple albums. And I had this big PA in the studio because we did recording and we also had rehearsal space. And I would crank up everything in the rehearsal space, And I had a microphone for my sax. I had microphone to sing into. I played back then trumpet, trombone, tenor, and alto sax. And whatever record came on, I would just try to solo and just learn to play it by hearing it. So I got good at that, And then I started going out and playing with any band that would let me sit in, whether I knew their material or not. Had a lot of fun. But once the studio really started to take off, once we got to the point where we were making records and we were doing, hit records, record companies were booking time. But what I took from Bruce was the fact that he took me, an 18-year-old kid who really, for all he knew, had no talent at all, but he was kind and he encouraged me. So what I started to do when I had the studio was I never turned anybody away. If people didn't have money, I would get them in at a time like fill-in space, I would give people their opportunity no matter what. And I would teach people how to be engineers and how to be producers. So if I found a band that had no money, couldn't pay to record, I'd be like, all right, listen, you guys just come up with the money for the tape, and I'm going to have an engineer in the studio with you who's never done a record. He's going to practice. He's going to learn by doing your record. You get to record your record. And all it costs you is tape. If the engineer makes a mistake and something takes too long, you're not paying for the time. In my case, I got to train engineers without it being on a session I was being paid for. So I helped all these people. But what's cool is, Bruce helped me. And then I started to try to just, now we call it pay it forward. We didn't call it that then. But so Beyonce recorded her first demo at Stardust. Kevin Hedge came here. Kevin Hedge was somewhat successful when he came here with Blaze, but Kevin came in, and Kevin ended up having his first big hit record was recorded here. That was If You Should Need a Friend with Josh Milan and Chris Herbert. But Kevin ended up owning a record company. He ended up owning 2 New York clubs. He's still a DJ on a radio station in New York. Josh owns a record company now. Chris's younger brother Vincent ended up mixing. His first record was done here, but Vincent ended up mixing a Michael Jackson record. He's one of Lady Gaga's managers. So it's like, I was thinking about this the other day, and I was like, Bruce was nice to me, and that gave me my record company and my studio, my tree. I took his kindness and said, if Bruce could be good to me, there's no way I cannot be good to other people. You know, it's like Bruce was already famous, and Bruce, you know. So I just, like, I felt like I had to pay that forward. And I took his kindness and I showed it to all these other people. And so many people benefited. There's so many people who are in the music business now, or who made their millions in the music business because Bruce helped me, and then I was able to help them. So, you know, I was just thinking about it, and I kind of felt like just sharing it. You know, there's so much more to say. I mean, my years with the Persuaders were because of the studio and because I met Scott Lee. You know, Mike Giudicissi, who was the drummer for the Persuaders, this dude is now like this amazing world-class, like motivational speaker, writer. He's doing a movie. He's in a band. He's got records out. Like, the dude is so like crazy multi-talented, and he came through here. He got his breakthrough here. So this is all just a lot of the fun stuff. And I should have taken notes, because there was all these things I want to say, and now that I'm on the spot, I'm like, I don't remember what I want to say. But I'm going to show you my Asbury Jukes jacket again, because it just looks so cool. And yes, I still have it. You know, funny thing with this picture, let me see if I can get this picture back up. You can just barely see right there that my chain belt, which became like famous, which I still wear my chain belt. Since 1978. So yeah, I'm a dimwit. That's why there's all this stuff here, because I never throw anything out. My poor wife is the kind of person who doesn't keep stuff, because she's like, I don't need that. And I'm like, I need that, or I might need that someday. Anyway, so this was just fun. And my cousin Diane is here. Diane, I love you. Diane took an enormous amount of pictures of me. When I jammed with John Bon Jovi before he was French, when John had the Atlantic City Expressway, and I was hanging out at his house, and I played with him at Dodd's in Orange, my cousin Diane was there and took the pictures. My cousin Diane was at every gig I ever had in Asbury Park, and half the time she did the driving so that I didn't have to. So props to Diane. Hi, Di. And Patty's here, and hi, Ida. Ida's here, and Mary Beth. Wow, MB. And Ginny and Jim. Bruce, Judy. Hi, Judy. So hi, everybody who joined. We did this different this time. We've been doing them where Patty is connected, and we take the break in between songs, and she puts the sponsors in, and she does the intro and all that stuff. This one we decided we would just chat and just kind of see how it goes. And Diane says, I still have mine, wearing it Saturday to their concert. Oh, way to go, Diane. She's wearing her Asbury Jukes jacket. Anyway, I'm laughing and choking myself here. Patty and Diane, say hi to each other. I think Diane's the one who introduced me to Patty, and Patty is now my producer. So you guys knew each other in Montclair, what, 25 years ago or something? We do have sponsors, Grimaldi and Associates and Danceworks. Patty will run those at the end. This will be edited and then rebroadcast, but you know, so do that. Sign up for our podcast. Please subscribe to the podcast on iTunes or Spotify or anywhere you get podcasts, because we're on a whole slew of places now. Like our Facebook page, stufffromthevault.com. Visit the website, stufffromthevault.com. Actually, the Facebook page is Stuff from the Vault. The website is stufffromthevault.com. And sign up and win something. You can get a mug or a t-shirt. No, not t-shirts, right? What do we have, Patty? We have mugs. We have pillows with my face on it. Now, there's a way to have nightmares. Go to bed with me looking at you every night. Maybe my eyes follow you in the pillow. Anyway, I choke when I laugh too hard. Anyway, this has been fun. I hope you guys liked it, and really appreciate you watching. And please share it. And I'll see you again soon. I'm actually working on a very special episode where we're going to take you into the studio and show you how some of the effects work to make things sound better. I just have to work on a little bit of the recording stuff, and then that one will be ready to go. But that one's going to be weird because it's going to be a lot that's not live. Because it has to be done in advance so that I can kind of take you inside live. So anyway, thanks for watching. Have a wonderful night. Bye. Sponsors for today's show include
Serious dance training can and should be taught in a safe, nurturing, and fun-loving environment, providing a challenging and rewarding experience for all dancers. DanceWorkStudios.com, 127 Grove Street, Montclair, New Jersey, 973-655-9558.
Safe driving is no joke. Get the coverage you need for all your New York insurance and financial needs. GrimaldiAssociates.com. Stuff from the Vault. Behind the scenes stories from the music business and more. Brought to you by My Social Media USA and Edge City Design. Featuring George Lubis. StuffFromTheVault.com.